What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something kind of fun because it's going to involve all three of us, me, Leslie, and Brianna. We are going to show you our top 5 kind of next level pens. You know, you have your pens that kind of get you into the hobby, like your Twisby Eco, your Lamy Safari, like that sort of thing. And then you're like, now I'm getting curious and I want something a little cooler. And so you might spend a little more, you know, or you might get something a little nicer, maybe a little more unique. And so we kind of capped this in between the price point of $50 and $150. And I know for those of you that don't use fountain pens, that might sound like a bunch, and I guess it kind of is, but that's sort of the range for like your quote-unquote next level fountain pen. So I picked my favorite 5 of my collection, and Leslie picked her favorite 5, and Brianna picked her favorite 5. So I'll go first, and then Leslie, and then Brianna. So this is probably the newest to the collection. This is my Benu Pixie. I like pocket pens. I think they're neat. I use them a lot, actually. And this is made out of resin, and you can see the nib through it almost looks like, you know, some kind of amber stone or something, right? And it's got this swirly brown chocolatey looking stuff. I really like this pen a lot. For me, it's probably too small to write anything but a quick note, but you can just kind of like wedge it in the web of my hand right there. But once you post it, it works. And it's pretty awesome. And people say it wobbles, but I don't have any problem with it. It writes pretty nice. It's got a number 5 Schmidt nib, and I have the medium on here, and it's awesome. Usually I eyedrop it because that's the only way to get any good amount of ink in there, and it's actually a pretty good quantity if you eyedrop it. So that's typically what I do with that guy. I like that thing a lot. This is in no particular order, although I probably will give you my favorite out of here once we're done. This is the Monteverde, Dakota. I like pocket pens, and I think they are neat. And what I really love about this, first of all, is that it has a aeronautic theme, and I really like aeronautic themed stuff. It's got the propeller on the cap finial right there. And then when you post this, it posts really deep. It's sort of like a more affordable Pilot E95S. I know that it is a number 5 steel nib. It's not gold. It's not a Pilot, right? But I really like it. I think it's really, really cool. And again, kind of a pocket pen because it's relatively short when you look at it, you know, next to a Twisby VAC 700, it's very short. Even next to these other pocket pens, it's still pretty short. But then when you post it up, it is definitely a full-length pen, and I really, really like it. I think it's super cool, and I love the colorway. They have another one too that I was thinking about getting in the blue steel, which is super neat. So I really like that pen a lot. Next is going to be my Kaweco AL Sport. And in red, this is an outstanding pen. This is in a fine nib. That's a medium, that's a medium, that's a medium, that's a stub. I don't typically get fines, but in pocket pens I will, because it writes on more crappy paper and stuff, like if you're out and about doing stuff. I love this pen very, very much. I use this pen a lot. Next, it's going to be my Opus 88 Omar. This is my only Opus 88, and I don't know why, because these are really cool. If you're not familiar with Opus 88, I think all of their pens are all eyedroppers. So you take it apart right here in the middle. Hopefully there's no ink drops or anything in here. And you fill it in here, and then it's got this plunger on the back that you basically, once it's tightened up, if you loosen this up just a little bit, the front of it will fill with ink, and then when you tighten it back down, it seals off the rest of the big ink chamber, so it like won't leak or burp or anything weird like that. It's a big pen. And it does post, but it posts very, very big, so I don't typically post it. It handles shimmers really. It's just a Yovo number 6, but it handles shimmers really well, which is really fun, obviously, because it's a demonstrator. So if I have some crazy kind of inks, this is what I'll use this pen for. These are not super expensive, and to me, they are definitely a next level feeling pen. And the experience when you buy them, the unboxing and all, is really neat too, because it comes with an eyedropper, and it's a really cool kind of little experience there. The Opus 88 Omar. The next one on the list, and this is the last one on my list, is a TWSBI VAC 700. This is another fun one to put like super shimmery inks in because it is a demonstrator, and this is the Kyanite. The reason I got the Kyanite is because it's the blue on the nib, which is super neato. I got this in a stub because Leslie loves stubs, and I don't have as many as she does. So I was like, because I'm probably going to put fun, shimmery, crazy inks in this pen, I'm probably going to put a stub on it. The reason I like this pen is because it is a vacuum pen, which means you pull this out, you put it in the ink, you plunge it down, and it sucks ink up in there because it's a vacuum filler. Most vacuum fillers are very difficult to clean, or can be. This one is not, however, because this section screws off, and you can actually put a syringe in there and rinse it all out. So if you want to experiment with vacuum fillers, this is an easy one to get into, easy one to maintain, and it writes really well, and it feels really good, and it's very reasonably priced, actually. So there's my 5. Let's go ahead and turn it over to Leslie and get her 5.
Okay, so first we have the Banu, upside down, Banu Pixie. This is the one in plum cream. Really pretty. Not a super fan of pink, but I do like purple, and I like sparkles. There's another one that is a purple, but I picked this one because it had the darker, I don't know what you call that, shaft? Section. Had the darker section, and I like that more than the lighter one. This still was in the lineup of, they don't have stubs because stubs are my favorite, but the Banu medium nibs write really well, so that's okay. I think these are all resin based, and it seems like it would be really small, but even without the post, it actually rests in my hand okay. And then of course, if you post it, it's almost like a full pen, so it's easy, super cute, writes well, and it is not too small. And Banus to me have just always been like super consistent and reliable, so that's always nice.
No matter what ink you put in it too.
Yep. All right, second here I have the TWSBI Diamond 580 in Iris. I really like chromatic and rainbowy things. This, not only does the pen have this, but also the nib has this, so super pretty. Did come in a stub, which of course I love. I have a lot of TWSBIs, so they're just nice in general and also very reliable. But yeah, this one was literally just pretty, and it's fun to match the ink since it's clear there and you can see the ink well. So this is just, and it always writes good. I don't know if it's the ink or the pen or combo, but this one is super reliable too. Third, I have the one I've struggled to pronounce, the Narwhal. I feel like I read that it was Schuylkill. It is a river or something in Philadelphia, is because I looked it up to learn how to pronounce it, but that was like a week ago. So this one I did not pick out. It is called Cichlid Purple. It looks very purple in all the pictures. It does have a lot of purple in it. It also looks very blue when you just glance at it. But Dylan got this for me because I did end up liking Narwhal after changing some nibs out, and this is really pretty. Oh, you pronounce it Schuylkill. I actually wrote it down, enunciated. So this has a little ink window, which is nice. But yeah, this one just feels a little fancy for some reason to me, but it is a stub nib, writes good. but really nice.
Yeah, those narwhals do feel premium for
Yeah.
the price, especially.
And not like heavy, not like the illusion of. It just is a really nice pen. So then next, the Conklin Dura Crest. This one is the blue, I think it's called Demi Blue in rose gold. I think this was my first rose gold. If you know about our knife collection, I have a lot of purple and black and then rose gold also. So I do like rose gold. So I think this was my first one. And this filigree looking overlay is just really pretty. When I got this pen, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to hate it actually. This is also the first one I got where the top would screw on to post. But this pen is really heavy, and I don't normally like heavy pens. I don't like this one posted, even though it's made to post, because then it is really heavy. But it writes really well, so well that I have Conklin's the most, I think. Stub nib, just really nice and pretty. This was probably my first like really shiny, metal, sparkly, heavy pen, and I literally thought I wouldn't like it, but I actually do. And this one has been very reliable too. And this was my first Conklin of now many. So then we have the Monteverde Innova Formula M. I think it's some kind of limited edition in a lightning color. Again, similar to what we talked about here. I like this rainbow. Dylan has a pen with this braiding on it, and it looks really nice. So I thought it looked really cool with all the colors there. So I just wanted one. I think it said, the description said it has 304 braided stainless steel wires per pen. I was like, that's a lot of wire. So it is coated in some kind of PVD though, but feels really smooth. Texture is a thing for me, but this doesn't feel weird. And this one as well, I always want to unscrew. It's not a screw off, y'all. It pops off. I'm telling myself that right now. And that nib color is really pretty. It's not quite black, right? It's not black, is it?
Probably
I don't know.
I think it's black. It just took on the color of the ink a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty. It's a stub. This one is a little heavier too. Again, probably the most part that trips me up is I unscrew the ink all the time because it feels like it should be a screw
You unscrew
off.
the barrel by accident?
Yeah, because I forget it just pops off. But
That's funny.
anyway, I'll get used to it. But I really like it, and it's super, super pretty.
Cool. Thanks for sharing those.
So maybe mine is all about stub nibs and aesthetics.
I get it. That's kind of what we all do.
So we have I did the same thing Mom did. Mine's upside down. The Banu Pixie. Dad surprised me with this one. Not my typical colors. Usually I do green, but it's super sparkly, and I actually ended up really liking the blue. Primarily with most of my pens, I do the medium nib just because I write kind of funny and you can still read my handwriting with this medium. I like the little sized pens primarily for so I can just kind of throw them in my purse and go. It doesn't get in the way of a lot of things, and they're pretty easy to find, especially with the brighter colors. The Aurora, I've actually never had one of these pens. I just unscrewed it. This just pops off, doesn't it? Yep. This one is just more of I think of it like an everyday pen. Again, a medium. It's kind of like the same size as a regular ballpoint pen, which works good just because of how much I have to write for work. It's just a super slick, easy, lightweighted pen. This one, what is it, Mr. Cypress? This one I've actually never had before. It looks really neat. Like, you can't really see the seam of the resin part of it. I use this one a lot more than most of my pens, actually, since I've gotten it. It's just super pretty. Again, it's really, really lightweight. Another medium nib. This is one of the only ones that I have with a gold nib on it. It actually lays down a lot of ink, which I like a lot. I I know that's kind of hit or miss to try it on. I'm trying to remember where I was before the dog slipped out. A lot of ink. I like that it lays down a lot of ink. I know that varies based on what kind of paper people use and things like that, but I really like sparkly inks, so when the pens lay down a lot of ink, it actually shows that a lot better. And then I have my Kaweco Lilliput. It's just super, super tiny. It actually posts pretty well. It's obviously not going to be very big whenever it's posted. Screw the lid back on. Another super lightweight pen. This actually is a broad nib. The only thing I really use anything other than a medium, like lower than a medium for, is for drawing. As far as writing goes, again, I like when pens put a lot of ink down. It actually writes super good. It's really bouncy for a nib that I wasn't expecting out of something that little. Then I have my Kaweco Aluminum Sport, made out of aluminum. This one posts a little bit taller than the Lilliput. Another broad nib. This one is a very sturdy, just kind of like on the go, need to throw something in, right for convenience kind of deal. I've actually never had really any problems out of this nib. I don't remember what nib's in here. It's just the broad gold nib, I guess. Dad knows more about this than I do. This is another one that he kind of surprised me with. It writes super good. It's super sturdy. I've actually never had any issues out of any of my Kawecos. Those are very durable for using daily and just kind of, I don't want to say abusing, but almost abusing.
Yeah, considering the one that didn't make this list is chewed up by the dog and it still works perfect.
I'll show them. Hold on. Just so they can see, like. So this one was my first Kaweco. We originally weren't going to put it in the video just because of how it looks. But when we got Zeba, he found this. And for a puppy who likes to chew on stuff, he didn't actually tear it up. There's bite marks on it, but it still works great. I've never had any leaking issues out of it. So for the not metal pen, it actually holds up really, really well considering what it's been through.
Yeah.
And that's all of mine.
All right, so there you go. There's 5 pens from each of us. Thanks for hanging out. Do me a favor, and if you have any ideas for other videos like this, because, you know, there's all kinds of things. Best pens, worst pens, most expensive, cheapest, whatever you want to know anything about. All 3 of us have pretty fleshed out collections, and we really, really enjoy making these videos. So if you want to have any ideas, get in the comments and let us know. You can also use the links in the description and the discount code to get 10% off on most of the pens that you saw today. So if you use those links, it'll help you out, and it'll also help us out. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe, and do all those things too.